and welcome to another episode of 60 Minutes with. I'm your host, Crystal Petrie. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, make sure you subscribe to my channel right now. On this week's episode of 60 Minutes with, I am joined by Debbie Hart. She is going to educate us all about the mystery world of mystery shoppers. So, welcome to the podcast, Debbie. How are you?
I am great. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so excited to get the word out there about mystery shopping and everything we do.
Excellent, excellent. So, where in the world is Debbie Hart today? Where are you located?
Debbie Hart is in Phoenix, Arizona, originally from Denver. However, been here like 35 years. So I love the sunshine. So, so
Yes, and we do too. We
I don't
do
mind the
too.
hot, even in the summer. You just stay inside.
Yes, absolutely. I feel the same way. I feel the same way. So, Debbie is going to educate myself. She's also going to educate you, my audience, about mystery shoppers. So, make sure and stay tuned because if you want to get more information or reach out and contact Debbie, she's going to give us her contact information so you can reach out to her for more information about mystery shopping. So, Debbie, you actually own a mystery shopping company, correct?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Okay.
And I
Explain
do
to us. Oh, go
I
ahead.
do like to think of my business as a customer experience business versus a mystery shop business.
Okay. I love that language. I love that language. Explain to us what are mystery shoppers, or as you say, what are your customer experience clients?
My customer experience clients can be anyone really in any business, not necessarily remote businesses, but pretty much any business that you are walking into a location. Actually, it can't even be online because obviously we want our people that are answering our phones to be giving the correct information, to be friendly, and responding to their people's comments and giving them information that they need. So it can be actually online. Most in the experience customer experience world, it's about knowing what your employees are actually saying to your customers when you're not there, or when you're even there and you're not visible. So
Yes. So, why do you think, or do you think we need mystery shoppers?
well, obviously, I think we all need a customer's perspective of what someone thinks about our business when they contact us.
Mhm.
If you want your people and even yourself to come across as a professional, a knowledgeable person, helpful, friendly. So in your customers need to see that point from you. And a lot of times we don't see that as business owners because, like I said, we're not there, and so we can't stand at every table when somebody's serving us dinner, or we can't be on every phone call for the customer service. So we have to rely on mystery shoppers to go into a location or pick up a phone and find out actually what those people are, what our team is actually saying to our customers.
And as I stated before, you own a mystery shopping organization company. How long have you been in this space?
I have actually been doing this business in over 10 years. My background is in the hospitality industry. So I've been on the other side of the mystery shopping, which kind of got me more involved when I started my own business because I could see both sides of the mystery shopping. I could see the person that got the report and I could see the person filling out the report. So that's how I got into, being more interested in improving customer experience.
And do you know who came up with the concept of mystery shopping?
The concept of mystery shopping is pretty, is the whole idea is to be secretive. Obviously, discretion, you're evaluating an entire business. You're looking at this from the start of your customer contacting your business or walking into your business till the completion of their visit.
And does the companies that the mystery shoppers go to, or the restaurants that the mystery shoppers go to, do they like having mystery shoppers in their establishments? Do they want mystery shoppers in their establishments?
Yes. And, if you ever listen to the show Undercover Boss, where the owner actually goes into a location and he specifically discreetly goes in there and he wears the wig and the hat and the whole shebang just to look different so that they
Yes.
don't recognize him, because he wants to get the customer's perspective, not from an owner standpoint, but from a customer standpoint. So yes, they are happy to have someone come in and tell them where they need to improve, because it helps them with their training, and helps them know a little bit more about what their employees are doing. Are they good? Do they need a refresher course? It's a very good at, say you're hiring new employees, you know what you're looking for. So yes.
Do companies or owners of these companies, do they reach out to you to request mystery shoppers come into their restaurants or into their stores?
It depends. Mystery shopping is still one of those things where it's hard to get people to reach out to mystery shopping companies. I'm not really sure why that is, but in general, for myself, I have to reach out to companies pretty often to get somebody to, um, get back to me. And it's not necessarily part of the problem is most of my business is in the hospitality industry, and they're busy, and they they sometimes they look at, they're looking at the whole picture, which they should look at, but sometimes they get so entailed in worrying about, things that they don't understand. That, okay, I don't understand why my revenue is bad. They don't relate that customer experience is the reason that their revenue is not, they're not doing well in their revenue. They don't understand, that other side of it. So we obviously have to educate them on, areas where, hey, this is affecting your business because you're doing this, your team is doing this. So it's a lot. Sometimes I've had, mystery, or had restaurants or anybody that, any business that I've worked with actually reach out directly to me without me ever directly reaching out to them. However, I'm a small business owner. I'm not a large mystery shopping company, so, it's hot. They have to know me. They have to find me.
And they will be able to know you and find you with this podcast, Miss Debbie Hart. So if the owners of these restaurants, the owners of these companies, even people who are looking to work with you as a mystery shopper, if they want to get in touch with you, get more information about mystery shopping, how can they do that?
Well, on my website, there's actually the Heart Experience website actually has besides your information on there about mystery shopping, there's actually forms on there you can complete as a client that you're interested in just me consulting, me talking to you and reviewing what actually we can do for you. On my website, there's also a way, if you want to become a mystery shopper, that you can fill out a form on my website, and then it comes directly to me, or you can schedule on my calendar, that you're interested in becoming a mystery shopper, or if you're interested in being a client. I also have post weekly, the Hard Experience tips, customer experience tips, just for any business. So, it's a once a week. I always post it usually on Wednesday morning. So you can check that out on LinkedIn.
Now, your heart, I want to make sure that my listeners and my viewers are aware, your heart experience is spelled HART. experience.
Correct.
So when they're
Hart.
Yes. So when they're going to the website or going to LinkedIn, it's spelled HART and
Right.
then the
And it's
word experience.
THE, the Hart experience.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much for that clarification. When we're talking about mystery shoppers, and I guess maybe I should know this answer, are the mystery shoppers supposed to be able to be recognized as mystery shoppers?
In most cases, they should not be recognized.
Okay.
However, many years ago, when I first started my business, I worked for an auto dealership where I was not even, it wasn't even my own business actually. I was working through another company who they were dealing with a Nissan, say. So they would deal with Nissan and they had a customer experience program. However, they knew when you were coming and they knew what date you were coming. And at the end of that day, you would sit down and go review everything that you did on your report with them, the managers and the owner at the end of the day. Does that happen always? That's pretty rare. Most of the time it's discretion, it's just very discreet. And the person that I meet with is usually a business owner. If they want me to meet with a manager, I do. I prefer not. And the reason I do is because I always think I don't always think, but in many cases, I see middle management is a problem that is maybe the reason why your staff isn't doing up to where they should be. And so I don't like the fact that that we put the blame on our staff. I like us to look at the whole team, the whole picture, starting with the manager. So I like to either meet with business owners, if that's not possible, say a hotel manager, a general manager, or somebody that maybe isn't always out on the floor. I I have done some of the shops myself, but it's hard because if I have ever met anybody
They
in
recognize you.
the location, then I really can't. I would have to put the wig on in the home. So yeah.
When a mystery shopper is finished, who do they turn that information into? Do they turn it into the owners? Do they turn it into you and then you in turn turn it into the owners?
How it works for my business is that I reach out to my mystery shoppers with a job board, say they sign up for a specific shop, and then if it depends on what the requirements are of the actual shop as to whether they have a specific day they need to go specific hours, they need to order something specific, they need to buy something specific. So they get all that requirements and then they go to the actual location. When I send them a link, they actually go to the location and then they fill out their report on that link. And then that link comes directly to me when they finished completing that report. And they upload pictures and everything to that actual report. It comes to me and then I edit it, or I have an editor that edits it. And then we send it directly to the business owner.
Mystery shoppers, so they are told what they need to buy, like at the restaurant and at the stores. They can't just go in and buy whatever they want. Why is that?
Well, and that depends on your actual business. Some businesses say to me, say for instance, I have a breakfast location. They want to make sure they don't care what you actually order, but they want to make sure that somebody's ordering hash browns. So that's one of their requirements. If we're working with, say, a hotel and they say, we want you to check out say for instance, they want you to not order, they want you to contact the front desk and say, I need a pillow or I need a blanket, because they want to see how fast or how long it takes for someone to actually get that pillow to you. They want to know other questions. Say, for instance, they want to know how your house, your room is being cleaned. Was it clean when you walked in? So there's a lot of scenarios to that. It just each individual location has specific requirements that they give me. Some are more, one of my locations says go whenever you want. It doesn't matter to us. The other one says we want you to go Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. So the requirements are whatever they choose. If they want you to order a specific product, they want you to buy a specific product. Sometimes they don't. So it depends on the actual client.
If someone wants to become a mystery shopper, obviously they can go to your website, the Hart Experience. What are the qualifications to become a mystery shopper?
Well, I like my mystery shoppers to have some hospitality background. That doesn't say they all do. I just think that some hospitality background gives them a lot more insight on customer experience. That's not, like I said, that's not always true. I've worked with many people that don't. Um, I've trained, people from their first shop till, 2 or 3 shops afterward. We still continuously go through certain things they are missing. Or I have experienced shoppers that have actually been doing this for like 20 years. And then they reach out to me and they say, hey, we're interested in doing shops for you. And then, then I use them. I send them actual information, say they have to complete a mystery shop guidelines so that they know that they can't share that information with just anybody.
Is mystery shopping a part-time job or full-time job? Is it salaried? How is the pay?
The way I have people that have part-time jobs. I have people that have full-time jobs. I have retirees. I have people that we call them route shoppers. So what they do is they can be anywhere in the United States and then they just travel, I think, all year, however that works, or however long, maybe vacationing or whatever. And they go to different states. And so then they contact a shopper and a shopping company in a different state. And they say, hey, I'm going to be in your area. I'd like to pick up some shops while I am there. So then they pick up shops there. Those are usually pretty people that are a lot of experience. I just reached out to a company here. No, actually, they're not even here in Arizona. They're located elsewhere. And they actually their company actually trains shoppers. And then for me, I can get those shoppers' names and use those shoppers. I specifically like people that are detailed. So I might, just work with people a couple of times through a few of their shops. I might have to edit them. I always contact them. I tell my shoppers that the most important thing is that we can look at things on the report and we can make changes because if you remember what actually you did at that shop. The main thing is to make sure you're getting your pictures because we can't go back and get those pictures taken. So that's the number one priority, is taking your pictures of whatever is required, receipts, and say for instance, if it's a restaurant, you're taking pictures of your food and your drinks, any areas that needed to be fixed. They are paid a shop fee, and then they are also paid reimbursement of where they actually say it's food and beverage. They're given a certain amount of money to spend for that specific shop. Say $45 for a breakfast shop, you might get $100 for a dinner shop. And then that also depends on your shop fee on how long you were actually at those locations. Some are way more detailed than shop reports. So then, yes, obviously I pay a little more for my shop fees and you get a little bit more reimbursement.
Give me some examples, because obviously mystery shoppers, you don't know who they are, but give me some examples of some of the stores, maybe big name stores or restaurants that mystery shoppers go into to collect this information.
Mystery shoppers in general don't see any scoring or anything on that. Um, we have done some different things. Most of my reports are yes, no, and a comment section. If a client says, we really want to know some type of score, then we will score each individual question. I personally try to talk my clients out of that because there are a lot of scenarios. You can answer yes to a question saying the person was, the person was very friendly or to that extent, but then somebody might say, well, they weren't really friendly, they just did a great job. So in the comments section, we want more of that information in the comment section. So the yes, no doesn't always give all the information. So
Right.
I think that if you're grading your people, your staff on those actual points that are in the yes, no questions, you're kind of defeating the purpose because the actual information is in the comment section. There's so much more that you can get in that comment section. And you might want to change that. And as a business owner, you might want to change that actual score. You might want to say, okay, that really was a yes. That should have been a no. Just depending on what they think after they've read the comments. So sometimes things aren't black and white, I guess you would say.
That's exactly what I was thinking, especially in this line of work. Getting a close answer like yes, no should never suffice. If you're trying to make your customer experience better, you should want the details and more information.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
And I mean, how often do you walk into a restroom? Okay, you may see a restroom differently than I see a restroom. So maybe, I mean, some of my shoppers will say, "Oh, there was one piece of trash on the floor." Okay, so one of the questions is, was their trash overflowing on the floor? So sometimes somebody might put in there, yes, there was trash on the floor. But then in their comment section, they'd say there was one piece of paper on the floor. So does the business owner, he might not say that, is that one piece of paper a big thing or not a big thing? So we want them to know what actually was that situation, and so they understand.
Absolutely. What kind of stores do mystery shoppers typically go into? Is it like bigger stores like Best Buy or maybe smaller mom and pop stores?
Most of the time, it can't, it seriously is any. And I have noticed with my business at some of the more family owned businesses do, but I seem to, they're more interested in mystery shops than the big corporations.
Okay.
And you and I know big corporations, they don't pay attention as well.
Correct.
And I think that has to do with they just have an overload of customers that don't care. So smaller business owners, or say they have 10 restaurants, they want to know what's going on. If they have restaurants, Applebee's or whatever, all over the United States, yeah, I mean, sometimes they're really good and they want to know what's going on in every one of their locations. There are many corporations that I've actually contacted that say, oh, we're using a mystery shopper. I say, congratulations. You know, it's not about using me. It's about, are you using some system? Or do you have some program in place? There's, I don't know if you've ever been to Texas Roadhouse, but they
Yes.
are big on their mystery shopping, and they have been doing mystery shopping for many, many years.
I didn't know
So,
that.
I would love to get in with them, but they're too big for me. I mean, I don't have that many shoppers all over the United States. But you can see that when you actually go to their restaurants, you will see that with the questions that they ask, they are all about upselling. They're all about, have you been here before? Let us go over the menu with you, and they check back with you. All of those things. So it doesn't matter really. I wouldn't say that it's just, some corporations just don't seem to be as much involved in the customer or in the mystery shopping, I should say, industry. I ran into the one other thing when some of my people that I contact say, "Oh, we're just using Crystal comes in and visits us all the time. She's one of our friends. So we just use her as a mystery shopper." I tried to explain to them,
That doesn't
what?
work.
Crystal's not going to give you the same information you're going to
Exactly.
get from somebody that's just walking in your door. Crystal wants to be nice to you because she knows you, so she doesn't want to hurt your feelings. So there's all those little things that, you have to explain to actually a company that, hey, this is what we do. We're professional at what we do, and that's why we do this. So
Debbie, what would you say is your personal intention in the mystery shopper space?
well, it's all about, you know, for me, I get annoyed at going to a restaurant. I get annoyed going to someplace where I get no customer experience. I want somebody to, reach out to me. I want to see somebody to check on my table or those types of things. So I think the whole goal for me is that I'm all about the customer's experience. So I want, start to finish, and if there's a reason why they, or a reason where they could actually improve, I want to show them where that, educate them on what that area is. It can be very minor. Most of these things are very minor. uh, no, soft skills are a big thing. How often do you go walk into a location and nobody smiles and you're like,
Yes, or speaks.
I'm like, how is that when you walk into a location? That first
Yes,
impression should be somebody should be at that door and
yes,
somebody should be saying, give you a greeting,
yes.
smiling, be friendly. It's just, I think it's a deal breaker almost.
I completely agree. Customer service, I feel like most restaurants, most companies, it's the last thing on their list. It's the last thing that they care about. And I feel like as consumers, we've gotten so used to bad customer service that it doesn't even affect us anymore.
You're right. You're right. I mean, I just posted my article today on LinkedIn about some statistics about how much companies are losing. I mean, big corporations, it said they could lose $3.7 trillion a year just in bad customer experience and people not returning. It's like, why would you want, why do you want to lose revenue? Specifically, they're walking in your door. So once they get to your door, if you're not giving that great customer experience, they're going to go elsewhere. There are a million competitors out there. There are a million restaurants out there. So why do I want to come to your restaurant versus going down the street? You got to be better. We call it the wow experience. We want to give you a wow experience so you're not going down the street.
Exactly, exactly. Most people nowadays, and by most people, myself included, we do a lot of shopping online. Amazon has really perfected that, and there are tons of other online shopping that you can do. I think just about every store, kind of needs to have an online shopping experience. With that being said, is there a such thing as online mystery shoppers?
Yes, there are. And a lot of times that is, say, for instance, I don't know this as I haven't spoken to Amazon, but Amazon has got usually great customer experience. And I would say 99% of the time you get what you ordered and you
Correct.
get it in a timely manner.
Correct.
When that doesn't happen and you're contacting customer service, of course, they want to know that. So yes, they have, they have, I'm guessing that they have shoppers that actually reach out to them or make those phone calls and order products that come to them. I ordered something the other day from a health foods location, and I'm always petrified because I'm like, okay, how are they going to handle this? When the package came to me, the products were gone. Somebody had
What?
stolen the products or something. I mean, the bag was like ripped wide open. So why they even the mail? Usually you would think that that the postal service would have put a note on there,
Yes.
that your items are missing, so whatever. But I contacted them and they were very good. And the lady says, "Oh, I'm so glad to help you. Can you take a picture of that? Can you send that to me? We will get your products out to you within 2 to 3 days." So yes, those are big things. You want to know that information. So yes, you to have shoppers online is a great thing. Great. Another good thing is that how many times have you looked at a website and you're missing a phone number? There's no address. Oh, and it's like, or something just doesn't make any sense of where they're located, and you're like, how do they not look at their website and see those problems? So a lot of times when I start with my clients, I always tell them, let us look at your website
Yes.
before we even get started, and let's see what if you're missing something there. Are you missing where each one of your locations? Are you saying something that doesn't make any sense? Is your address wrong? It's it's the phone number that's misleading or whatever. It's how many times are those little things missing that you could catch just by somebody looking at your website.
A fresh set of eyes looking at the website. A fresh set of eyes. Is there any downside or any cons to being a mystery shopper?
Well, I am sure there are not great shoppers out there. And I actually know because I've had that happen to me, and we've had to redo shops. So I would say the cons are that if you're not, if your shoppers aren't customer experience or, if they don't have a customer experience, not necessarily a background on that, but they should be knowledgeable in that area, because if they're not going to be a great shopper for a company. So those cons are, look at the people that you're hiring to do. It's not an employee, it's an independent contractor anyway. So they have other things going on in their
Right.
lives. So, excuse me. So it's important that the right people are there for the right jobs, type of thing, which is true in any business. But the cons are, I mean, it's, I guess you would say, if a company doesn't feel like they're getting the right information, it could be the reports aren't giving them the information that they need.
Okay.
We customize our reports to our clients, but not all mystery shopping companies do that. So because they don't do that, some of the companies get kind of turned off by using mystery shopping companies because they're not getting the information that they need. So it's a learning experience. It's like, how am I going to train my people on that report that you're sending me? You should be able to look at that report and know what areas you need to train people in. So yes,
Okay.
I'm sure there are cons that aren't working for specific companies.
I have Miss Debbie Hart here on the podcast educating us about mystery shoppers today. Now, Debbie, let's kind of talk about the owner or the company's perspective and how mystery shoppers can help them. So the first thing is, how do mystery shoppers help a company measure quality of sales and service?
Well, the way they actually measure that is going through, say for instance, food. you know, is the food seasoned correctly? Is it cooked properly? Was it hot? A lot of, like one of my questions is in my reports is, was the hot food hot, cold food cold? Because those are the areas that you want to know what if that food is not going out hot. It would be the same thing if you're purchasing a product. Is the product looking like it should look when it was sold to an actual customer? So if it's something Are you selling a shirt and it had a hole in it, you know? So those types of things would be things that you would want, you would want to know, is actually is actually happening. So in only those reports give you hopefully give you enough information about that. That's why you really need those reports need to be as customized as possible so that you say for instance you go to a location somewhere name tags, some don't wear name tags. So those types of questions should be in that report so that you as an owner, as a business owner, can go, oh, well, if the question is in there and it says, well, your server didn't have a name tag on, and then you say, and then but business owner says, well, we don't require that. So it's about what each individual company requires. So they should be able to get that information through that report. Some reports are very detailed, some are not as detailed. One thing is that a big thing is suggestive selling.
Okay.
Okay. And if you look at that as far as revenue, so you walk into a restaurant or you walk into a location and there's somebody there that either at the front desk or whatever, or your server says, hey, would you like to try a margarita this evening? Or let's start you with an appetizer. How much money are you going to make extra if your servers are actually selling more? Are they offering dessert at the end? If you're in a retail, is there somebody walking the floor and saying, hey, those shoes would look great with that purse? Those types of things so that you can get, you want interaction between your customers and your staff and your team.
So suggestive selling is basically upselling the client, trying to get them to buy more than what they were initially going to get.
Yes.
The questions that you were talking about on the report, do you help owners craft those questions, or do they already know what questions they want to ask to get the information?
Most of my business owners are kind of what you call green and don't really know much about mystery shopping. Or some will say, oh, let me show you a report that we had previously. And these are the questions that were asked. For me, I sit down with all my clients if I can, if they're in state, or we go back and forth with emails. Are these questions you want on it? Did you want to add something to this? I even will adjust a report monthly if needed. Like I said, I'm not sure if big mystery shopping companies would actually do that for you, but I think that I want you to get all the information you need to improve your customer experience, to go back and be able to train your people correctly. So that that customer experience you should be able to see that in every one of your reports as to whether you're actually they're actually getting the information that they need and are the right questions there. So I usually always will either sit down with my clients or I will send them a generic report that I have done a shop on, send that to them so that they can look at that and then they can say, oh, we want to add this question, we want to take that question out.
Okay, that makes sense. How do mystery shoppers help owners, restaurant owners, company owners enhance job performance?
Well, how they can enhance the job performance is just through more training. Okay, a lot of, if we've even gone to a location where somebody's training another employee. Let's say it is a restaurant or in a retail where there's the trainer is training a trainee, and we're like, at least for me, this is even necessarily when I'm doing a shop. This is when I'm like going just say out to dinner or something, and I'm like, that trainer is not qualified. I can see that that trainer is not qualified to be doing the training for this other person. So those in business owners need to know that maybe they're not putting the right trainers on the floor. Maybe that's the reason the trainee isn't doing the job that they need to be doing, and maybe they're not being trained correctly. It's I don't like to always blame the new person. It's like
Yes.
it's what they're actually being trained. And is it the trainer's problem? Is it the manager's problem? There's a lot of scenarios there, and I think that if you have, if you're doing shops, if you're in those types of situations, if you're having a mystery shopper come in and someone says, well, we went to a restaurant today, and a trainer, this is what, trainer was doing this with the person. The one thing is that we don't offer personal opinions.
Okay.
So when we do a shop report, we don't offer personal opinions. So when my shoppers come back to me and they say, oh, I didn't like this. No, 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 no. It's not I didn't like this. We want to know the actual, the comments about what happened.
Okay.
We don't,
Yes.
your viewpoint could be totally different than what the business owner thinks. So we don't want your information on there. We don't want, I didn't like it because of this. I don't like their mango tea because I don't like mango. Well, then don't order mango tea. It's like, it's, so it's not about personal opinions. It's all about, experience and, teaching them and how they can learn to, you give a better information. Not all of my comments that I get, I edit a good portion of my comments just to edit out some of those personal opinions.
Do mystery shoppers, I know early in the podcast you said mystery shoppers will take pictures of receipts and things that they have purchased if, that's what the owner is requesting. Do mystery shoppers carry like video cameras and like record the interaction or record the meal?
Well, I don't have video shoppers. However, there are video shoppers that are out there that, yes, they do. They carry like a little right here in their little pocket. They have either a phone or a video camera that actually will take the whole scenario, everything. A lot of grocery stores that have shoppers, that's what they do. So all the interaction is, you're asking maybe somebody in the grocery aisle a certain question, that will all come across on their video, and then they turn that video in. It's not, and for me, we have a physical report you're actually completing. A lot of times video shoppers don't even have a physical report. The actual report, they're just sending their video to that location. When I used to do car dealerships, it was all done on an iPad. So I put all of my answers in on the iPad, and I never saw that report. That report went directly to them and then on to the business owner. So yes, there are cameras and there are a lot of things out there that you can use.
How do you, or would you say that mystery shoppers help to impact the community? How do they do that?
Well, I think, for instance, you or me that say, not talking mystery shopper, we go out to dinner, we go out to purchase a product. We in the community want to know where to go. So we go to Yelp and we look at reviews and we're like, oh, I don't know if I want to go check out that place. And a lot of times, I think that sometimes that information is misleading. That's why it's so important for business owners to look at their reviews and to comment on their reviews, good or bad.
Yes.
Because we want the community to know, hey, we're doing everything we can to give you the best customer experience. So that the community says, hey, you know what? I'm going to go check out that restaurant. They have great reviews. And then there might be someone that looks at the reviews, like, I don't think I want to check that out. So yes, it's about, the community is definitely looks at reviews. I know, for instance, my daughter, she checks reviews before she goes to any location. So doesn't mean
I'm
she'll
a big
have great
review
reviews
checker as
there.
well.
I'm sorry.
I say I'm a big review checker as well.
So there's just a lot of things out there. I mean, you even look at airlines and all of those things. You know, there's a lot of there's a lot of industries that use shoppers. Airlines use shoppers. There are, you know, retail. There are apartment complexes. There are senior living centers. There are, like I said, restaurants, hotels, retail, theaters. All many times, you know, many different industries use shoppers.
Are there any mystery shopper scams out there that we need to be made aware of?
I personally, and I actually wrote myself a few notes on that one because I thought, do I know of any scams? I don't really know of any scams. However, I do know that I hear back from other shoppers. Mystery shopping companies don't pay in a timely manner. So because they don't pay, I mean, you're putting it on your credit card, hoping that by the next month you're able to pay that credit card off or pay that purchase off. So when you're working with a company that doesn't pay on time, that's kind of a problem. You know, and some of the larger companies are very guilty of that. That this they have probably have a lot. Me, I pay. You know, as soon as my client pays, I pay, and that's the first week of the month. So, but yes, I'm sure that there are some scamming going on that people aren't being paid correctly or on time. Shoppers aren't being paid correctly on time. As far as reports, I've not heard of anybody saying, you know, anything about something's a scam and that's, you know, not right. I have gone to like workshops and things like that, and I've heard from shoppers whom I would never use say, oh, we just copy paste this or we just do that. No, doesn't work for me. And when I
Wow.
started my own business, I specifically started it after I heard all of that because I'm like, I can be so much better than that. That is so wrong. You need to know every place is different. Even if you have, say, restaurants that say this Texas Roadhouse, then not every Texas Roadhouse is going to be the same. One location may be great, one location may not be. So you know, obviously as a business owner, you want everything to be consistent, but not everything is always consistent. And
Correct.
both are bad. So
Are mystery shoppers and secret shoppers the same thing?
yes,
Are they? They just have different monikers, I guess.
that just, you know, a lot of times I've seen people post we're secret shoppers. Somebody will say, mystery shoppers. It's the same thing.
Okay. Okay. What would you say are the characteristics needed to make a good mystery shopper?
Well, I'm pretty big on customer experience skills. The other thing is that it is important that they're kind of articulate and that they. I go back to spelling and editing things like that. Many times before I started my business, I worked for some smaller, you know, or I worked for some larger companies and did some actual shops just to see what the editors were actually looking for. And the big thing is that somebody will put in their comments, food was great. Okay. So, you know, in the mystery shopping world, that should be the food was really great. And why was it really great? You know, great doesn't give a business owner any explanation. So
Right.
I always tell my more details that is possible. Think of it as a story that you're telling so that the business owner knows that report should be able to say that business owner should be able to say that report tells them exactly what they need to know and exactly what that shopper saw when they were there.
Excellent. Excellent. I have a couple more questions for you, Miss Debbie Hart. Then I'm gonna get you out of here. Who should not be a mystery shopper?
Well, somebody that doesn't have those skills, and I have ran into many people that are sweet as no tomorrow and can say, you know, oh, they're really friendly and everything like that. But when it comes down to details, they don't have all the, they don't get the whole picture. They don't understand the whole picture. So you're missing the food is great, or why is the food not great? Those, if you're not detailed, I would probably say you're not going to be a good customer experience person or shopper. You have to be detailed. You have to play it. You have to make sure that you're, like I said, telling the story to to that business owner, because they have to understand what exactly is going on. So if you're just answering your questions, yes, no, food was great, that doesn't give any answers to me. If you forget to take your pictures, little things like that, you have to be, you can take notes on, I mean, anymore now, you can pretty much take notes on your phone. It used to be,
Absolutely.
as a mystery shopper years ago, you didn't have any way to do that. You had to remember everything, which was very hard. You're remembering descriptions of people, you're remembering names. It got to be kind of difficult. You have to run to your car and fill out that report immediately when you got to the car, make yourself some notes. Where now you have the phone and you can put a few notes in there and just pretend like you're texting someone, so that they don't see it. If there's times that I've gone and maybe somebody's caught me taking a picture, just turned the corner just in time while I was taking the picture, and I'll just say, oh yeah, I say I love to post my food pictures on Instagram. So that's, I'm taking a picture of my food, or I'm vacationing and I'm here, just to check out things, and your food is great and I want to share it with my friends. So
Yes, yes. So, Miss Debbie Hart, if we have owners of companies, owners of restaurants that are listening, how can they get in touch with you if they want to sign up to receive mystery shoppers from you? First question. If someone wants to become a mystery shopper with you, how can they do that?
actually, both ways are done on my website. There are forms on my website, thehartexperience.com. If you look at my website, there's a form to fill out that you're interested in becoming a client. And there's a form on there that says become a mystery shopper. And you can send that information in there. There's also on my website, you can connect to the calendar and you can say, I want to set up a consultation and speak with you directly. And that's how they usually reach out to me. Right now, I'm with a couple bigger companies that have shoppers. So they send shoppers to me, or shoppers connect with me. They'll go to my calendar, and then they'll put their information on my calendar. Right now, the one thing I'd like to say is that all of my business right now is in Arizona. Do I want all my business to be in Arizona? No, my business goal is to get out, into different states. I'm contacted daily by shoppers in different states. Hey, do you have any business that I can do in a different state? And I don't have those clients in those areas. So my business goal is to get more shoppers in different states, and to get more shops in different states. So
Excellent, excellent. And your website, could you give that to us one more time, please? What is it?
it's the heart, and like we said, it's HART, thehartexperience.com. And you can also check out those LinkedIn, the Hart Experience tips. You can go to LinkedIn and find Debbie Hart at the Hart Experience, and you can check out those tips weekly. You can subscribe if you want. If you don't, you just can remember to go back every week and look at all of those tips relate to any business. It's not just the restaurant business, it's any customer experience tip that anybody might need. Today, I kind of posted more on how much money are you losing, or how much money is a bad customer experience costing your business. So, and that information is in there. Sometimes I list statistics, sometimes I just give you information, sometimes I give you a story about what I've actually has happened to me, or someone else's story.
My final question for you, Debbie Hart. Who do you think would make a great guest on the podcast, but you have to help me get them on?
Well, I actually know a great business coach that I think would be really great. He does a lot of Zoom things and meetings and workshops and those types of things. And he has a mastermind group that he does on Tuesdays. And it's kind of, I do customer experience tips. He does more on the business line. So he gives you business tips. He works with a lot of brand new, business owners or somebody that's looking to start businesses. So I think he'd be really great. And his name is David Hepburn Jr. And like I said, he's better than me on the podcast. That's for sure.
I don't believe it, Debbie. I don't believe it at all.
I've seen people say, what is the scariest thing? And I'm like, oh my gosh, don't put me in front of the camera.
You have been amazing, though. I could not tell that you were nervous at all.
Usually when I'm nervous, I talk a lot.
Well, this is the perfect space for that then.
That's good.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you so much, Debbie, for agreeing to be on my podcast and educate me and my listeners about mystery shopping. It's like that whole world is amazing to me.
It is.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Debbie. I appreciate you. And to all of my listeners and all of my viewers, thank you so much for tuning in, for listening, for watching, and for learning. You can get this podcast and all of my other podcasts on YouTube Podcasts and Apple Podcasts. And remember, you always have time to listen and learn on the go.
Thank you.